Test Tank 18.3 finally has a crusher cap placed on top at Massey's. The new static fire stand assembly continues at Sanchez. Test Article 39.1 is placed back onto the ship crow stand for further testing at the build site, and now all the clamp arm doors are installed on the OLM for Pad 2 at the launch site. Hey everyone, Jeff A here, and welcome to RGV Aerial Photography's Starbase Flyover update number 113. The flight took place on Saturday, January the 10th at an altitude of 6,000 feet and captured all the fast-moving action at Starbase, Texas. Let's kick back and take in all the exciting sights. Let's start over at the Massey's test facility. Here's the labelled map of the site to help you with the layout. Beginning at the mystery flame trench structure, we can see the top platform has been installed and some new hydraulic rams sitting on the platform. At the top of the flame trench ramp, some new pieces of steel have arrived from Sanchez, with hydraulic pipes fitted. Moving to the GSE building, workers are installing rebar for what will be a sloped wall that will be tied to the roof to further protect the building from any further anomalies. Shifting focus to the crow stand area, the booster crow stand looks ready to receive booster 19. At the ship stand, some new pipes have been installed. The original static fire stand's chain hoists for its work platform are being fitted up under the main structural ring. This stand is still missing the mounting hardware for the braces that protect the RVAC engines during sea level static fires. Over at the structural test area, we can see the B18.3 test article has received its cap, and all the rams at the bottom seem to be installed. Next to the crane, a rod can be seen which was lifted and then placed back down during the week. Taking a quick look at events of the past week, Test Tank 17 conducted 2 cryogenic proof tests on January 7th and 8th. That's it for Massey's, let's fly to Sanchez. Here's this week's labelled map of Sanchez to look over. Beginning with the stand construction area, work on the second version 3 booster transport stand has seen no visible progress. In the ship transport stand area, workers have installed all 6 hold-down clamps on the first stand. All of the ring sections for the third stand are now staged ahead of its construction. 2 new steel rings have appeared this week. There is no real clue to what they are, except that one has 6 mounting points around the inside, possibly for actuators, and 10 semicircular cutouts on the bottom. One speculation is that it's a replacement of the structure inside the ship cryo stand, to emulate the thrust vectoring. The 3 arms that is speculated to be related to the grid fin testing have received a fresh coat of paint. They may be moving to Massey's sooner rather than later to be used for testing with B18.3. Work has started on a new structure that could possibly be a welding station for Star Factory. All 20 of the OLM-2 ball mounts have been moved from the launch site, where all the clamp arm doors were previously staged. This whole area is now being used for work platform assembly for the megabase. In the scrapyard, the Ship 33 Block 1 payload bay section is now in the process of being scrapped, with the main barrel squashed flat and payload door panels laying to the side. We can see that the ship stand used to static fire Ship 37 and 38 is also staged for scrapping. Moving to the rocket garden, the crew is preparing to lift the main ring of the ship's static fire stand onto 4 columns, which will allow welding of the 4 legs. Just before moving to the build site, we'd like to thank all of our YouTube and Patreon members. Remember, all of our patrons get to participate in our show and tell sessions on the same day of each flight. Here you can join in the discussions and ask your own questions. YouTube members also get to watch and listen in with the live chat function. Beginning at the Gigabay, work has begun on erecting the 3rd level of steel columns on the left side of the building. At the front of the centre partition, handrail installation has been taking place on the staircase to the right. Along the parking garage side, the staircase access holes have been cut and both intermediate floors assembled with flat steel panels. This week has been rather quiet due to high winds, although we can see a large amount of steel staged in the aisles, so we should expect a lot of progress by the next episode. Going to Megabay 1, with the door open, we can get a look at some of the changes to the inside. The towers for the China elevator platforms have been moved for both the centre and right workstations. Along the back wall, the LOX tank cleanroom structure is also taking shape. Moving to Megabay 2, on Friday 9th of January, Ship Test Tank 39.1 came out of Star Factory and was rolled to the bay where it was lifted above on one of the left-hand workstations to allow the ship cryo stand to roll in. It was then put on the stand and welded in place. It was later transported to Massey's on the morning of the 12th. This video was captured by Lab Padre's Rover 1 camera and compiled by our good friend Vix. During its rollout to the Star Factory, a few eagle-eyed tank watchers identified a series of significant updates to the test article. These modifications included a newly added docking port enclosure, doubler plates around the skirt vents adjacent to the docking ports, additional hoop stiffeners over the skirt vents, and then 2 rows of the skirt vents being covered on each side of the quick disconnect to add more room for the raceways. Further work has been carried out on the raceways with an extra structural reinforcement frame incorporated around the QD, and the QD assembly now featuring extra ports. It appears to be fully developed for use with the Crow test stations at Massey's. Further back in the bay, the scaffolding surrounding Ship 39 is being removed. Thanks go out to Sean Giesler for capturing these images. Please consider giving him a follow on the X platform. Finally, let's take a quick look at progress on the apartment parking building. On the bottom level, floor concrete is beginning to be poured, as well as glasswork continuing on this side of the structure. At the corner of San Martin, the tiny houses in this lot are being transported away from Starbase. Stay tuned for future updates on what this area will become in the future. Well, that's it for the build site. Let's fly over to the launch site. If you need extra time, pause now to browse this week's labelled map of the launch site. At Pad 2, the trench next to the GSE bunker has had the first length of pipe installed. The concrete has a smaller pipe within. An additional pipe can be seen protruding from the slab under the cladding. Along the property line, part of the berm wall has been removed and a small retention pond has been created for the vent to collect into. Back at the bunker, the door installed on the right side can be seen. Looking to the left side, the door is also installed with the last sloped panel above is also installed since the last flyover. Moving to the launch mount, all 20 clamp doors are now installed. And moving up the chopsticks, the bumper extensions can be seen installed under the pushers. The SQD arm extension was lifted into place. From directly above, we have a great view of the linkage that connects them. To the side of the trench, the Tadano crane has arrived with its counterweights. Paint marks indicate the position for upcoming work. Staged next to the prepared crane pad, the frog leg outriggers for the LR11000 indicated the boom would be laid down, which did happen on the 12th. The retention wall is expanding into a taller perimeter at the D1 entrance. Moving to the Deluge gas farm, the pipe manifolds discussed in previous weeks turned out to be for a new nitrogen supply along the top of the gas generator rack. Next to the bank of 4 generators, there are 8 sets of 2 pipe shapes staged, likely to integrate this new manifold. At the methane pump farm, one of the boosted pump motors has been removed and staged nearby. The short segment of the wall has been finished to the mega bunker. Along the front of the bunker, a short wall has also been built, possibly to be turned into landscaping like in front of the wall in front of the tank farm. At the front of the tank farm, a new trench has been started, exposing a set of conduits that were previously started from near the new methane tanks. Nearby, the drill rig has begun placing piles. The pattern is still unclear at this point. Closer to Pad 1, a second area has been cleared of concrete, where the other tank pedestals should be needed. Before moving to Pad 1, jumping across the street, the air separation unit site has taken delivery of many truckloads of crane matting. These are being set up in 2 pads, with this angled section leading to the roundabout. The base under them is also being terraced, likely to create a ramp up to the square pad. Finally, at Pad 1, nearly all evidence of the launch pad is gone. The excavation under the mount has been mostly backfilled. At the base of the tower, the doghouse over the tower cryopipes was removed, as were all the pipes that fed into the tower. Nearby, continued concrete removal moves towards Pad 2. This excavator is removing the original pad where the boosted cryo stand used to sit at that launch site. At the Deluge tank farm, only the final 2 tanks remain and were transported away on the 12th of January. Well, that's it for episode 113 of Starbase Flyover Update. Thank you for choosing to fly with RGV aerial photography, and I hope you all enjoyed the flight. If you liked what you saw today, please subscribe for more episodes and content so you don't miss out on the new videos each week, and leave a thumbs up. To receive the latest images and to join in the conversations on the day they are taken, please consider joining RGV's Patreon. I'm Jeff A, and we'll see you again next week from 6,000 feet.